And good afternoon. This is Sam Vaughn with Sam's Sports Report. We're going to start a conversation with gun control and what kind of damage it has eventually done to our country. And eventually we'll get to licensing. I will give you full warning. I am not a big gun fan. So if you are, sign off now. The total cause of death in March of 2023, evidence-based theories. This year earlier, a guy by the name of Vargas then kicked open the door of 304 apartment where he shot and killed residents of 64-year-old Pertica Simmons, his 51-year-old wife, Merle
Niebles,
and their 17-year-old daughter,
Priscilla Perez.
Police officers responded to the garage, the scene, in exchange for gunfire with Vargas throughout the complex. The stairwells up for about 5 hours with a Glock. At this point, most guns that can be made can get it done. I know a person that makes guns, and that is very unfortunate. It makes me sick. Of course, a lot of GOP says the person, if they don't kill them, it's the killer's fault, not the guns. Of course, one of the reasons I wrote this article is because of Brandon Miller, the Alabama player, and the player that killed the Alabama player, Jeremiah Jones. Darius Miles shot her. Jeremiah Hayes was near campus at 23. Miles says he's no longer on the team. She can still be alive today if Brandon Miller did not bring a gun to a rock fight. Here are some stats of total deaths. Total deaths by guns, 6,587 this year. Homicide murders, 2,825. Suicides, 3,762. Mass shootings, 89. Mass murders, 8. Number of ages shot by a gun from 0 to 11, 38. 86 injured. Number of teens, 12 through 17, it's a big number. 239 have been shot. 562 have been injured. Police involved in a killing, 9 killed. 57 injured. Officers kills or injury, 57. Officers involved in an incident, 211 astonishing. Defense used, 168. Unintentional shootings, 235. Murder, suicides, incident shootings, 168. We're not even halfway through with the year of 2023. I will attach the stats after a little more. The link. Gun violence is a crime and are collected for serious sources and data. 75,000 incidents and their sources data found. Gun violence websites. Number of sources verified. Deaths. Number of incidents reported and verified. Calculation based on CDC suicide data. Actual total of suicides, deaths plus daily calculated suicides. All numbers are subject to change and recognized at the new evidence established in methodology definitions. This site has already been updated. Here's the link. You can check out back up for the dates. Here they are on Twitter, Facebook. A little bit in Alabama. It is legal to bring a gun in your car in the state of Alabama. If you carry one in your car, that's what this has to do with Brandon Miller and the Alabama basketball players. That's legal since you did not kill her. There's nothing the police can do. The law said you can carry a gun where you was passed just recently in your vehicle. And so now, there's nothing the police can do. In New York, if you have a gun and it kills somebody, you're accessory to the crime, you could face 7 years. But in Alabama, there's no charge. We need to keep some consistency We're going to keep you on track. Update January 25, 2023, which would allow a possession of firearm and a minor firearm in the vehicle if it is not readily accessible. 2, transportation is not functioning, or 3, unloaded ammunition is not readily accessible. Last update, January 5th, under the Kansas law, a person transporting a loaded firearm without a vehicle permit is, regardless of whether loaded or stored in a container, transported in plain view. Seriously, the only reason you need to bring a gun is you're getting hijacked. And I don't think that's really a necessary worry at this time. In Texas, you have the right to carry a gun. In particular, wholly visible must carry it in a holster. Before the change in 2021, people needed to have a license, openly carry a handgun, needed their handgun's shoulder or belt holster. Now a license is not required to carry open. This is though good, because I thought Texas was its own country. Colorado, you're allowed to carry a person gun in a vehicle, lawful protection such as another person property, CRS 105.2. Colorado law also allows to possess a handgun in dwelling places of business or automobile. However, when you carry the weapon into your home, hotel, or etc., you must be in plain view. Now to Colorado. We're going to go to Illinois in a little bit. When you're visiting National Forest, Colorado, you may carry a weapon. However, in addition to state laws, you must comply with federal, state laws, regulation, painting to use the firearm of National Forest System lands. No permit is not required to possess a carry handgun, shotgun, or rifle. Handguns, shotguns, and rifles are allowed in vehicles all by the person, age of who determined, and temporarily person by state. Illinois law requires you have to have a firearm identification, FOID, to possess a firearm. A FOID card holders can legally carry an unloaded weapon or unenclosed in case in Illinois. That's a pretty good law, what we're considering. Now, shootings happen in Illinois, so your question is, how do we get rid of the guns? And that's a good question. If in Kansas and Missouri the same laws, gun laws and law, I believe we would have less shootings, and that's only my opinion. Also, I see if people have a mental illness, they do not need to carry a gun. Also, they should have a written test about guns so you make sure the person knows about guns. We're going to write more about this on Tuesday.
Hi, I'm Officer Keith Staten with the Westchester Police Department, and I'd like to take some time to talk to you about responsible gun ownership. As the saying goes, with great power comes great responsibility. The same goes for owning a gun. It's the duty of all gun owners to properly train with and maintain the security of their firearms at all times. In efforts to promote responsible gun ownership throughout the community, Westchester Police offers these gun locks, safety locks, to residents free of charge. Let me show you how they work. Prior to putting the gun lock on your weapon, make sure that the chamber is empty. With a semi-automatic pistol, the very first practice is to remove the magazine. Make sure that it's set aside somewhere to where you're not going to pick it back up. Clear the chamber, making sure that there's absolutely nothing in there, and use your slide lock lever in order to make sure that the chamber is empty. You can also do a field test to make sure nothing's in there if you have low light conditions. After you've made sure that your weapon is safe and that the ammunition has been separated from it, take your lock, remove one side, run it through the magazine well and out through the ejection port, fasten it on the other side, turn the key, and remove the key from the lock. At that point, you can allow the slide to go back towards its home position so it doesn't weaken the springs in the weapon. Now your weapon is safe to be stored in either a lockbox, a safe, or your original pistol case.